Hey everyone, I'm Darya Rose, and welcome to another episode of Ask Darya, where I answer readers' questions about their health style. So today I have a question from Stacy, and Stacy asks, Darya, I love your idea of shopping at farmers markets whenever possible, but I'm located in Denver where farmers markets tend to run from June, July through October-ish. What would you suggest as an alternative during the rest of the year? Should I order produce from a CSA and have it shipped to me? Or should I find a farm that does pasture-raised poultry and meat and order through them? Thank you for asking this, Stacy. It's actually a question I get a lot, as you can imagine, because not everybody lives in California where there's beautiful farmers markets 24 hours, 365 days a year. So this is a very common problem. And my answer to you is, should you join a CSA? Yeah. Should you get pasture-raised meats from a farm share? Yeah, absolutely. Do all the things. Don't let things like a farmer's market or a lack of a farmer's market stop you from finding great food. There is great food all over the place, and the resources that are in your particular city are going to be different than the resources in other cities, and that's totally fine. So, the whole point of shopping at a farmer's market, like for me, it's one option, and it's a great option. The reason I love it is because, when I go to the farmer's market, they'll often have some very beautiful produce that is, fresher than what I can find at the grocery store, or maybe they have more interesting varietals of apples or broccoli or even spinach or squash, all sorts of different things that I don't get at the grocery store. And they're in season and they taste good, and that makes me really happy. And so I get really excited to eat vegetables. And a CSA will do the same thing. And for those of you who don't know, a CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And usually it's a relationship you create or form with a farm, and they deliver to you food from their farm maybe once a week or once a month or whatever you set up with them. But basically you're getting that same farm fresh food that you would get at a farmer's market. You don't get to pick it all out yourself though, but that's great. You get it delivered, and you still have that super seasonal, super delicious fresh food. Another thing I love about a farmer's market is that I get to talk to a farmer, and I get to know the story behind this asparagus that was picked in the rain last week. And, that stuff like that is lovely, but it's not necessary. And there's a lot of different ways to find great food where you live. So yeah, when I was in San Francisco, and I literally had a farmer's market twice a week. I bought most of my food there, and I loved it. But I still supplemented with a grocery store. Usually I went to a Whole Foods, and that's just life. And here in New York, it's even trickier. The farmer's market is pretty good, but it's, not nearly as exciting for me as it was in San Francisco. Excuse me. So I do other things. I have discovered a store called Italy. It's really famous by Mario Batali. I love it. I go there. It's way farther out of the way for me than the farmer's market, but I actually go there more often because I'm more excited about it. And they have beautiful produce, beautiful seafood, beautiful meat. And that's, for me, that's been a great solution, even though it's a little more inconvenient. I still go to Whole Foods. I still go to little Japanese markets looking for specialty items. I love to cook Japanese food at home, so for me that works. I found a butcher that's closer to my house that I go to for sort of weeknight last minute dinner ideas. And I still, I don't mind shopping in Whole Foods for lots of things. So you sort of make it work wherever you are. And I really hope nobody gets hung up on having to shop at a farmer's market, because at the end of the day, even if you have nothing but the biggest chain grocery store in the world, if you're in the produce section and you're buying vegetables and you're taking them home and you're cooking them yourself, you're still light years ahead of the game, right? It might not be as exciting, it might not be quite as fresh or quite as beautiful or even as sweet as, the fancier stuff that you can sometimes get in bigger cities or during the spring and summer, but, you're still eating real food. That's still where you should go. That's still what you should be trying to do as your daily habits. And The whole point of the farmers markets and the CSAs is to just make that whole process more fun. And so that, you know, the inconvenience of the whole thing is less of a chore and more like an adventure that you get to do, that you're excited to do, instead of something that you have to do to be healthy or whatever. So, you know, I encourage everyone to try and patronize farmers markets whenever possible. But when you can't, you know, don't freak out. Just make do with what you have. Ask like-minded friends and food people in your area. You know, go online, find forums, find Facebook groups of people that figure these things out where you are, and they'll have great answers for you. And try. You know, like it's not that big of a deal. It's not like 1 month. You know, or whatever, a month or two CSA commitment is not going to kill you. You know, you can do that, and if you like it, you can stick with it, and if you don't, you can cancel. It's not that big of a deal. So thank you for your questions, Stacy. I'm sure a ton of people had that as well, and I hope you all got a lot out of this answer. If you have more questions for me, I'm really liking this video format, so go over to the Ask Darya section. If you go up to the top of the website, there's a contact button, and it's under there. I'll link to it in the show notes. But yeah, keep asking questions, and thank you guys so much for listening. Bye-bye.